Live from our studios in Kingstown, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it's your favorite Thursday night show, Up Late with Sion Marshall. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the host of tonight's show, Sion Marshall.
And that's me. Good evening, and welcome to today's edition of Up Late with Sion Marshall. I'm your host, Sion Marshall. We have been off for a while, so welcome back to what I would consider a new beginning, a restarting of our show. Ooh, that dusty boy. Yeah. Okay, just look if I'm hearing an echo somewhere. Yes, this is more like a new season, if I could say so, new season of our show. So welcome back, and I hope you are getting your notifications. So those of you who are at home waiting for the show to start, got your notifications, and so you're bit by bit logging on to the program. This evening we have a very exciting program for you. We're starting back with a bang, and so I am glad that those of you who have joined us are there joining us. Now it sounded a little scratchy, so I'm gonna make sure that my producer is. But we look good. I'm gonna make sure that my producer is have everything all lined up. Let's see. So now I'm going to share it. Where are we now? I see we have some comments already. Love it. Tune in now. How are we looking? We looking good? All right. Let's post that. And I'm hoping that you, my good folk, are logging on. All right. I never like that green border thing. They may know that come from. Coach Joe, good evening, my buddy. Yeah, that's a long break, a long carnival break. By the way, I didn't get to pour my sip. I didn't get to pour my sip into my cup so I can have it sipping. But this evening we have a fantastic program for you. We have lined up a very special guest, Vincentian performing international recording artists, the Melisizwe Brothers. They should be joining us in a bit, and we'll be having a chat with those guys. They are an amazingly talented bunch of young men. Now, I came and I sat down before I had my cup. I don't know where my phone is, and I need all of these things. Okay, so I'm getting my phone. Can you pour into my cup, please, as well? Thank God I appreciate it. Yeah. You're being handsomely paid. Well, not really, but it's already there. Just pour it over, push it down and pour it over so I can have my sip. All right, so come on, share it up. I've shared the live, and I'm asking you as well to share the live so that others can join our program this evening. All right, it promises to be an exciting one. I promise you that. Okay, then. All right, now. Let's see if I can copy this and put it on my WhatsApp status as well. Where are we? Forgive me. I am getting that organized. Hey, Faye, good evening. Share the live, please, so that others can tune in. We have been joined this evening by the young, exciting Melisizwe Brothers. We're going to be talking to them, getting to know a bit about their origins, talk a little bit about their album, TMB, the album, and hopefully I can encourage Vincentians who are watching to get a copy of that album. So let me do this. Yes, sorry. I am. What am I doing? Oh. I forgive me, please, eh? Right. Okay, so I'm getting all of the things right. I'm going to go there, and then I'm going to share. So yes, those of you who are viewing, listen, link up the thing. Thank you. That is why I pay for a very efficient producer who also sells me coffee. All right. WhatsApp. All right. Send to WhatsApp. My status. Yeah. Ooh, this smells nice. Oh my Lord. Tika, thank you for introducing me to nice, lovely things. All right, so good. It's shared a number of places. Or my producer would let me know when the Melisizwe brothers are in the studio, and we would then bring them on. Now, just before we introduce the young men, and it's a good thing to see that they have what's his name? I think Zach is his name, the youngest one. He has graduated from a young Michael Jackson sounding voice to a man with a real crone. Okay, that might sound kind of how, but yeah. So before we bring them in, just to let you know that from today we are expecting to have a more consistent program coming off the carnival break, where we took a few weeks off, because I need to really put an effort into making sure that I produce this program every single week with everything else I'm doing. I do morning radio, afternoon radio. I'm getting into my full professional career as a new as a new barrister at law. So there's so many things happening with me right now. And so thankfully I have a producer who's working along with me, who will assist me in making sure that we have quality content on this platform every Thursday night for Uplift with Sion Marshall, even as we also seek to bring back and get on stream the Sunday SETI, which is the longer version of the program, on Sunday afternoons. All right, so that's what you can expect going forward on this program. Really good content, entertaining content, informative content, educational content every week, consistently, as part of this platform. All right, so like I said, this evening we have with us the young, exciting, talented group, the Melisizwe Brothers, and we're going to bring them into the studio right now and introduce them to. But they're not there yet? Okay, so we're waiting. I thought you showed me the thing, which meant that, like, yes. Okay, so they're not there yet. So we're still waiting on them. All right, so I'm gonna take a sip. And let me see how my producer is at making sips. All right. By the way, Kojo, I'm contemplating working on getting called to the bar in California. So once I make up my mind to do that, you would assist me in that regard. All right, you would be my point person to make sure that I am assisted and called to the bar. Let me see. Let me let the young men know I'm waiting on them. Okay. All right. Good. Now, on subsequent programs, I keep saying now, we had two good programs over the last 2 days. We had a good program this morning on radio, and another good program yesterday afternoon with Dr. Denny. And quite a few individuals have reached out to me and commented on the information that came out and how happy they were with the content that was delivered. And so, going forward, that is something I'd look to have on this program as well, where I can bring someone on to speak to the Human Development Index, the report on the Human Development Index as published by the United Nations Development Program. That I think has some really good information for us, for St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I believe that where are we? I need to stop that right there. Yes. Sorry, people. It's really hot. Yes. So I believe we're going to be talking about that at some later program, because I believe there's really good information there for all of us as Vincentians, and so we discuss that at some point. And also, we know that there is at some point in time there will be the elections campaign, and so once that heats up, I would look, I would strive to have guests, candidates on this program to interrogate them, get to know and hopefully guests from from both parties. Hopefully, where I can speak to them and hear their plans and hear what their party has to offer, to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So you can look out and look forward to that as well. Look, I ain't had no enemies. I mean, I can tell you that there are some candidates I would not try to invite. If they approach me, maybe, but I would definitely not be going out of my way to try and have certain candidates on this program, right? But if they do approach and they show a willingness to appear on the program, fine. All right. I think the producer is indicating that the boys are in studio. All right. So without any further delay, let me let them in and welcome them and introduce them to the uplate audience. All right. Gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Thank you so much for staying up late with Sion Marshall.
Yeah. Good night, everybody. Good night.
All right. Sounds like we have a whole like coup behind us there and so forth. All right, gentlemen. Just for the sake of the viewing audience, introduce yourselves individually.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zach. I'm the youngest member of the Melisizwe Brothers. Hope you all doing well.
Everyone, I'm Seth, the little brother of Melisizwe Brothers. Knight St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I'm Mark, the eldest of the Melisizwe Brothers.
All right. Now, Mark, you said good night, St. Vincent and Grenadines. I can assure you that the number of the persons viewing are in North America. So
Oh,
yes, there are a few individuals from St. Vincent watching you, but there are also people in North America and wherever they are who are looking. As a matter of fact, my daughter, who is your cousin, and your dad would let you know that this. She's in Taiwan, and I've made sure to let her know that your cousins are going to be on the show. So you make sure and tune in. So you should have individuals viewing from a wide um, section of the globe.
yeah, yeah.
All right. So guys, tell me how has your holiday been going so far?
Our summer holiday has been amazing. I mean, we're in St. Vincent right now, so we've been able to spend some time at the beach and enjoy the hot sun. I mean, I've got my tan already. You know what I mean? It's been so great being back in St. Vincent every day.
Well, for me, it's not so much of a holiday. We're doing quite a lot of work while we're here in SVG, and it's been really good. We went on the beach, but we've been also doing a lot of work with some youths here in SVG. So all the well, all the same. So if you didn't know, but for the past 3 weeks, we were in St. Vincent. We were doing a camp. One of our initiatives, the Gold Mine Vocal Recording Camp, and we've been working very hard, but at the same time, as my brother said, we've been having lots of fun. It's been 3 years since we've been back in St. Vincent, but that's just a little bit of what we've been doing. But I'm sure you'll hear a little bit more. A little bit. So, yeah. We're really happy to be back home in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, you know.
Okay, just to say, guys, I think there's a little bit of a problem with the audio from your side. So you may need to come a little closer to the mic individually
Closer?
when you're speaking.
No problem.
Yeah, so that the viewers can hear you a bit clearer. Now, if you can give us a little insight, guys, as to the beginnings of the Melisizwe Brothers, whose idea was this, and when did it all start?
I mean, our group, when we started, our group That was in 2015. And we used to play when we used to play music. We just used to do it for fun. It was something that we did around the house. We always practiced together, play music together, and it wasn't until much later that it was like we were performing somewhere and somebody said, "Hey, you guys are very great. Y'all should sing together as a group." And I would say it was that little encouragement from friends and family, and especially our parents, um, who really believed in us and saw our potential. That y'all could go really far if y'all kept going at what y'all are good at. And that for us, that was music. We were good at music. And so in 2015, while we were living here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we started our band called the Melisizwe Brothers. And what Melisizwe means, it means leaders of the future. Now, you're probably wondering why we chose that name. When we started our band, we wanted to find a name, and it wasn't just any name. We wanted to find a name that had meaning. And that name, Melisizwe, means leaders of the future and stand for the nation.
If I could jump in there, Zachary. So I know Zach would like to say that it was us who came up with the name Melisizwe Way, but a big shout outs to our parents because before it all they said that we needed something to look up to if we were going to be a musical group, if we were going to be musicians, if we were going to be a band. We needed a name, a meaning to look up to. So that's when Melisizwe Way came in, and our parents searched hard and long, and they found Melisizwe Way, which is of course leaders of the future or nation. So,
Well, I mean, I know your dad personally went to school together and so forth. So I'm not at all surprised that he first of all was able to instill that type of training and so forth in you, that sense of how do I say it? Your own ability to want things and to understand exactly the vision that he had. So having a band with a meaning, having a name with a meaning, those things come really as no surprise to me. If I am to go back to the type of father I know you have. So you guys are into music. Last year, you put out your first album, TMB, the album. Tell us a little bit about that.
so I can jump in, but yes. So we put out our very first debut album, TMD, the album. And years before that, we'd been releasing singles. But our very first album, it was very exciting. It was a new chapter for us because your first album is a big staple in any musician's career, and the fact that we were able to do that as brothers, as a group, and it really shows that we've come a long way, but we still have so much to
Yeah,
go. Right? And,
yeah,
it was really good.
it was really great. And over the past few years, we basically came out with our second album titled "TMB Legacy." And over the years, we've been just steadily, building our catalog, keep on writing songs, and just recently, um, we won Young Canadian Songwriters of the Year in all of Canada, and it's such a great experience for us at TS Brothers.
Guys, Zach and the others, let me just tell you, and I'm kind of proud of this, right? Because I'm not sure about anybody else, and I want my producer to make sure she zooms in on this one. But I timed the release of your first album, and so I made sure I went to iTunes and I got TMB the album,
Rise up,
and I
right?
listened to it over and over and over. As a matter of fact, I reached out to your dad And I started to go through the album one by one. I was telling him, I'm hearing this influence on that one, and I'm hearing this influence on this song, and this influence on this song. And it was really, really good stuff. I
Appreciate
must tell you, if I couldn't say I have a favorite song because each of them have has its own kind of connection for me. But I can ask you guys individually if you were to say. And by the way, now that I know you have a second album, I have to go to look for that and buy that as well. Um, do would you say each of you has a favorite song on that first album? And let's talk a little bit about this. Who did some of the writing? Where the inspiration came from, and so forth.
Well, for me, it's definitely yesterday. So that's one of the first songs on the album, and I find that what really stood out was the way that all three of us kind of led the song. This was
Yes.
it was one of the first times actually that Seth took a lead part in the music as a
Okay.
vocalist, right? So this one was really unique in the way that people heard Seth for the first time, and of course Zach and I are always there with the harmonies. That's the brotherly part of the music that always stands out to people is the harmonies that we add into the music as well. So yeah, for me that would be yesterday.
Okay.
I would say for me, since as a lead producer of the album, I really got to enjoy producing all the tracks. But for me, I would say Paradise, just because it just reminds me when we came up with the concept for that song, we really thought of, hey, let's just bring it back. Let's bring back the old kind of vibes to a modern style. And so that's what we did with the album. But overall, I think the album is great. But I always say, hey, I can do a little better than that. So I think the second album that we came up with, Team New Legacy, is an even better album than the last one. You know what I mean? But all the songs is great.
For me, Zach already he took my answer. He knew what I was going to say. All right. My favorite from the album is also Paradise. Of course, um, just that writing that song. I could go back the night we wrote that song. It was very lyrical. And I had lots of fun writing that with my brothers. Writing the rap as well. For a lot of viewers who are unfamiliar with our music, I also do a little bit of rap in some of our songs, but it was just really it was lots of fun writing that song, producing it, and the whole process from the beginning to the end. And the fact that that song is the ending song of TMB the album, it ends off with a bang. That's kind of what Paradise feels like. It's modern, like Zach said, but at the same time, it has the touch to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and if I could just add to what Seth said, because you know us, you've known us for a lot of years, and one thing that always stayed the same was that whenever we wrote songs, or whenever we produced music, we always make sure that it has an inspirational message in there, it has a positive message in there. So that stayed true in the first album, and that also came was stayed true into the second album as well. Because we found our sound. Our sound was more soul, old before, but now it's a genre called soul power pop. So this still brings in those brotherly harmonies, the inspirational lyrics that uplift people, that inspire people, and of course it has the modern flair to it as well. So,
And I can get into what I consider to be some of the older school ones and so forth. But I'll tell you something. Immediately when I started listening to your album, the very first song jumped out at me because although it didn't specifically deal with St. Vincent, I could relate to it having just had the volcanic eruptions a few years ago. That's the song Ashes. So it talks about from the ashes we'll rise and so on and so forth. It's more of a ballad, but I really could relate to that song because St. Vincent and the Grenadines had just or we still are essentially, but we just risen from the ashes that resulted from the volcanic eruption of 2021, and so that song resonated with me almost immediately. What was the thought behind that song? Because yes, it's a ballad. It sounds like you like one of you young men, found a lady, but I really found it touching and relatable because of our experience in St. Vincent and Grenadines. So tell me, what was the idea behind that song?
I mean, when we wrote Ashes, um, we wrote that song in 20 in November. I think it was October 2023, and just months before we began producing production of the album. And um, when we wrote that song, we were thinking of all that was going on in the world at that time. And that's just what we do. When we write songs about real things, um, things that people can relate to, that we as brothers can relate to. And Ashes just talks about that, we have to eventually rise to the occasion and stop
Right,
whatever negativity. We need to bring light to positive in people's lives. We need to rise and we need to take back what is ours. You know what I mean? And that's what the song is, an anthem to self empowerment,
right.
coming together. And that's what we're all about. That's the message that we convey through our music. It's about togetherness, about standing strong as one, as a unit, and pushing through, testing the boundaries. And that's Ashes in a nutshell.
And I believe all of those things that you just mentioned, Zach, can translate and be used in the same way to address exactly what St. Vincent and the Grenadines had to do as a country, as a people. We had to stand strong. We had to push the boundaries because we had just gone through such devastating situation, period, in our country's history, but we had to rebound, we had to rebuild. And so that's an anthem. I don't know how many Vincentians are familiar with that song, but that's a song that I really thought, I really think, embodies what our country had to deal with coming back from the volcanic eruption. So who's the Adam Levine Maroon 5 fan in the group? Because I tell you, I listened to and I have my notes. I have my notes. I listened to sympathy. Sorry, is it sympathy? And I hear Maroon 5. I hear Adam Levine. Who is the Maroon 5 Adam Levine supporter in the group?
I would say that's Mark. Mark really likes that the Moon Five band. But I'd say I take, as a producer standpoint, I take a lot of inspiration from a lot of modern artists.
Yes.
Such as Moon Five and Bruno Mars and also Stevie Wonder and sort of
I
you
heard, I heard the Bruno Mars. I heard the Stevie Wonder from Change. I heard Stevie Wonder coming out from Change. I heard the harmonica there and so forth.
yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, we throughout the years, we've been inspired by many people,
Right,
and I'd
right.
say especially Stevie Wonder. We got to meet Stevie Wonder back in
Oh, you did?
2017. Yes, and ever since then, I think our music has changed for positive. We got a clear vision of what we wanted to do, what direction we want to take with our music, and
Yeah.
it's
So I
been
can
quite a journey.
add to that,
Very
Zach,
much.
is just kind of touching on what Zach said. So Stevie Wonder, he was the moment we met him, Zach was in tears. He
Oh, wow.
pulled it back because that was a dream that Zach had since the beginning, and we can't ever forget that what he told us when we met him, and it was that you guys keep going, keep pushing forward, keep using your music for positive things, to make positive changes in the world. And what really that ties back to is one thing we learned, with the mental side of it is that if you don't use your gifts, if you don't use your talents, given to you by God, you're gonna lose your gifts and your talents. And that's also a big part of why we're back in St. Vincent and the Grenadines as well, because we see the talent that is here in St. Vincent. We see the opportunities that are possible for our youths here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So that's why we're back. We're doing this program, the Gold Mine Vocal Recording Camp program, because we want to give them the opportunity to showcase their talents to the world. And the thing is, a lot of these vocalists, these six vocalists, it's not these genres that they're singing. It's gospel, it's R&B and pop. But what we're helping them to do is to put positive messaging in these lyrics, because that's what we're about. It's all about the positivity. It's all about the inspirational side of it. So we're giving them, our platform. We're sharing our platform with them so that we can push these youths here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and SVG and show them on a global stage, on an international stage, because the world needs to see the gifts and the beautiful talents that have been given to us by God. The world needs to see these talents here in SVG. So yes, So,
There's a question in the comments. Someone is asking which of the guys would be attending Berkeley or is going to Berkeley University. I'm not sure if anyone is, but there's a question in the comments. I'm asking as one of the viewers asked that question.
so currently, I'm in my second year at Berkeley College of Music. I'm studying music composition for film, TV, and video games. And Mark is he's going on his third year at Berkeley. His degree is music business. So, and Zach will be joining us this year. He's going to be doing music production. So, we are all
So Zach is really taking this producer thing really serious. Okay, let me not refer to it as the producer thing, but he's taking up the aspect of producing quite seriously. Just before I move on, because as I said, I listened to your songs and I was ranting about them to your dad. Steppin' has an old school vibe, so somebody has been listening to Mark's music. What
Man,
was the inspiration for Steppin'? Because it has a kind of old school type of retro kind of vibe to it. What was the inspiration behind that one?
I'll give this one. I'll hand this one over to Zachary.
to me, always me. I was gonna put on the hot seat. Okay. Um, Step in. Um, when we wrote that one, like all of the songs that we wrote on the album were written on piano, which is like, how do you take a song that's written on piano, and turn it into a song that can be played at a party or a bar or something like that? I don't know, but um, Step in. Um, I really took the inspiration from a lot of the songs from the 2000s. Kind of gives you reminiscent of, hey, my parents one day they were young. They used to hang out, go to parties, and so on. That's the kind of music we used to hear.
Right?
And so stepping is kind of just reminds us of that, just having a good time. And I do say that when it comes to producing music and writing and songwriting, it's an essential part of being a musician. Probably one of the most important pieces of being a musician, aside from having a great support system and all of that. But and that's just what we try to do. What we try to share with others, especially through this gold mine camp that we're doing, is hey, you got to build your catalog. You got to write songs. You got to learn how to do produce your own music because those eventually those are going to benefit you in the future, you know. And as I just mentioned before, we recently won Songwriters of the Year, SOCAN Songwriters of the Year in all of Canada. And so we're using that experience now to assist others in launching their first songs and their, through the Gold Mine programs.
The Goldmine project that you do, I know you started it a few years ago. I remember coming to a concert, if I can call it that, or an exhibition of talent down at Coconut Grove a few years ago. How many years has the Goldmine project been going on?
So we officially started the Gold Mine programs in 2018. Um, we first brought it to St. Vincent in 2019, where at that time we would do school symposiums. Um, the Gold Mine camp itself, we held it first in 2021. Where we were some vocalists, just kind of it was more of a musical thing. We did it in 2022 as well, and then that's where we had our concert at Coconut Grove where you saw us, and then we're finally back 2025 once again. Very happy to be back. But we're doing the Gold Mine vocal recording camp. And, as my brothers mentioned, we're working with six amazing vocalists, local Vincentian vocalists. And they're very amazing. So I'm pretty sure you're going to be very stoked when you hear it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure you probably, many of Vincentians probably remember the video of a girl named Leah Barnaby, and it was a song called Voices. And Voices was a song that was produced in the Gold Mine Camp back in 2022. And that had actually garnered national attention in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the diaspora. And so, based on that experience, we've learned and we've seen, hey, how important it is to shed light on Vincentian talent. And, so that's why we're back here again to say that, hey, um, there's many more out there. There isn't just when we produced that song, there were 17 people in the camp, and we were
Right.
only able to do one, which was Leah Barnaby. And so this time around, um, we actually want to produce more people and get them out there because it's imperative to see that there's
How
really
can how
natural.
can young talented Vincentians be a part of the Gold Mine project? Is there an age limit? Is there an application process? How do individuals, young people who would love to be a part of the Gold Mine project, who would love to work with international recording artists like yourselves, how do they access this project, this program?
So, so I'll just kind of just add a bit onto what Zach's saying. We of course, last time, like Zach mentioned, so that was a really good question there because last time Zach mentioned, so we were only able to produce one song out of the camp, and that was 17 people writing one song. And so what made this year Gold Mine Vocal Recording Camp different was that we're actually producing songs for six young um, local talents from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And what we're planning to do is we plan to produce, fully master, and release these six songs, these six original songs, so that it can be streamed internationally, right? And a lot of people have been asking us, what comes after? How do we be a part of what's going on? So we are doing some programs where there will be some live showcases. There will be a live show this Friday and Saturday, and next Friday and Saturday. So the 15th, 16th, 22nd, 23rd, where it's an opportunity for the community to just come out and see these six voices perform their original songs
live, as well as an opportunity
Yes.
to see the Melisizwe Brothers perform live as well. So make sure you come out and support these youths. And yes, it's by invitation only, so you can check out our pages for more info on that. You just call the Base Center, of course, and we can
But just to
and
bring
then
it,
just to bring it, I'll just finish it. I'll finish it. And then, well, yeah, thanks. Say, jumping in, that's good. We have that motion, set noise, But, all right. So, and then of course, and it's a really important question because, like you said, like what is going to happen after this? How does the community, be a part of the gold mine and
Yeah.
find these opportunities? So we are working on a lot of, we're working on some programs where our community can continue to support these youths because we've already taken the first step in reaching out to these youths and giving them a platform. The one thing we always stress is that we can't do it alone. While we've taken the first step, we need all of SVG to jump in on this. We need our radio representatives to push these young talents. We need the community, the diaspora to push these youths and help us to share their gifts and
Yeah.
talents with the world as well. Um, we are right now in the works. We are working on some programs where the local radio, the local television can help and push these youths and give them a platform so that they can be represented and displayed regularly. But like I said before, it takes a village, and it
Yes.
takes community to keep pushing these youths long after the gold mine vocal recording camp program is finished. And of course, we will be back again. We are planning to be back in SVG more regularly so that we can keep in touch with these vocalists as well. But right now, it is really, we took the first step, and now we're just you know opening the doors for the rest of SVG to step in and help us push these youths to the world.
And going further on what you asked Mr. Marshall as well, is that hey, sometimes for us it's like, somebody knows somebody who could sing and all that kind of stuff. And just to touch on what you asked before is that for us it doesn't end here, you know. We're not just gonna stop with these six vocalists. Our program is always open to extending to many different singers. I know there's many talented people across in Vincent and Grenadines. So, as brothers, and doing what we do, we just want to do our best to shed light on more talent as it comes. You know what I mean? So the work for
Okay.
us it doesn't end here. We want to continue to grow our programs and help as many young youths as we can.
Now your showcase is taking place over the next 2 weekends. This weekend coming Friday, Saturday. Next weekend, Friday, Saturday. It's by invitation only. And by the way, I've already got my invitation, just so you know. But tell us the location of the base camp where individuals who are invited would be expected to show up to this Friday or Saturday or next Friday or Saturday.
So the location base, base is the Belmont Apartments Conference Event Center, and of course it's located in Belmont off of the main highway going up to the Belmont Camp. It's an event center here, local event center. You'll notice the red roof. Mark's got the phone number and everything, so you can always WhatsApp or call for more information. Yeah, Mark.
Yeah, of course. And like we shared before, this is a big opportunity to see the the talents, to see these vocalists perform their songs live for the first time. So this is original music, um, produced with the a world class quality, of course, and this is so it is by reservation only. And like my brother said, It's at the Bay Center in Belmont, Friday and Saturday night, 15th, 16th, 22nd, and the 23rd. And yes, you just call the Bay Center at 784-530-0572. All right.
All right. Now, one final question before I let you guys go, because I'm sure you've had busy days, and so I don't want to keep you much longer. But in terms of you did one album last year, and almost immediately on the back of that, you've done a second album. Can you give a sense of the performance of the album, TMB, and this one, The Legacy?
I mean, TMB, the album, I would say um, the first album that we did was very well received, and I could say people just listening from our friends and fans all across the world have said that we've really grown musically in terms of writing
Absolutely.
skills, our producing skills, um, following up with TMB Legacy. Now, um, we do plan to keep releasing music, keep releasing albums, and all that kind of stuff, touring and everything going forward. And I could just say what people said, they've seen a new side, definitely. They've seen artistic growth. And so, what we want to do going forward with our songs, with producing our music, is that we want to continue to grow, we want to continue to change. And this direction, it just allows us to do whatever we want with our music and keep building and keep writing positive songs. So all I could say with between the first album and the second one, people really like the second one. I mean, people really like both. That's what I'm gonna say. But I think that the second one, I think a lot of people resonate a lot better with the messages. It's a lot personal and a lot more polished than the first.
And now this
So go stream it. I'm gonna say go stream our album called TMB Legacy. All right, it's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, everywhere. My favorite song, by the way, is Take My Heart. This is Take My Heart.
If I could just
All right.
add one thing as well, I think one of the things that a lot of people appreciate um, listening to both albums, TMB, the album, and TMB Legacy, it's very musically versatile. So, like you said, Ashes, listening from the top, it's, that rock, ballad, and, it's a very versatile, both albums are very versatile. One of the things that from a lot of our musical mentors that we've met throughout the years is they've always told us to never stick yourself in one lane of music, always be open to change, as my brother Zach said before. So we've been very musically open, and with our third album on the way, Violin. Doesn't have a name yet, but we've been working on a lot of music, a lot of lyrics, and it's sounding amazing. So I'm sure a lot of you will be very excited to hear what that's going to be like. But yeah, I just wanted to add that.
So, are you planning? Are you guys planning to release an album every year? What's the break period that you're planning to use? Because you had one in 2024, you're releasing another one in 2025. Of course, that does show some serious creativity and some commitment to the creative process to be writing and producing. But one in 2024, one in 2025. How often do you guys plan to be producing albums, releasing albums?
and 2026.
2026. You know, we write a lot of songs. You know what I mean? But it that's the thing about music. It's so fun that hey, you know, you release a song every year. You release an album every year. People get to enjoy your new stuff every year. Sometimes hey, you say, hey, why don't we release two or maybe release three? You never know. You never know.
I see.
But
I see.
we plan. That's what we plan to do. We plan to release our music every year. New stuff for our friends and fans to listen to. and just keeping it fresh.
Well, I'm into iTunes. I'm trying to get your music. You get the music down, but I'm not. I don't know what's happening, but I promise you that before the evening is out, I should have purchased TMB Legacy. Let's see. I don't understand why I'm not getting it. I see. Yes, there you are.
Thanks for the support. Thanks for
I always support, right? So because and I'm serious when I say to you, and I mean it every bit of it when I say the maturity, the growth that I've seen in your music. The first album I thought was really well done. It didn't. Although you guys are young, it didn't give a childlike vibe to it. It was really good, easy listening music that I could have enjoyed. Like at the time I was in the UK, I was in back in school, and so I was able to just put my headphones on whether I was on the bus, on the train, or even walking, and just really get into your music. And I really enjoyed listening to your music. So I'm going to get this second one and do a comparison. But as I said, the growth that I've seen, the maturity in your writing, the commitment to the creative process, I must congratulate you guys on some really fantastic work and wish you all the best going forward, and hope that you guys can release music every year like Prince did or James Brown. You know what I mean? Just keep releasing music over and over and over so that people can always have fresh stuff to get into.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, let me thank you so much for being a part of the program, and I should be seeing you guys tomorrow evening because that's when I plan to attend the showcase. So I should be there tomorrow evening from 7 to 9. So until tomorrow, guys, let me thank you so much for accepting the invitation to be a part of this program. Let me thank you so much for your contribution to the program, and let me take this opportunity to wish you guys well in the future.
Thank you so much for having us, Ms. Marshall. We appreciate it.
All righty. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right. That was the gentlemen of the Melisizwe Brothers, the brothers Zach, Seth, and Mark, a part of a fantastic, exciting group. These guys really growing and maturing in the music, showing real commitment to the creative process, and just as significant, giving back to the young people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, imparting their skills, imparting their knowledge and so forth to young creatives here. So we have to give them kudos. And if you can, listen, support their music. All right, go online if you're able to purchase their music. I promise you, you would not be disappointed with the quality of the music that comes out of those young men. All right, so this has been the program for this evening, Thursday, 14th of August 2025. After a break of a couple of weeks, we came back, and I'd like to think that we came back strong now. Now, the audio might not have been the best coming out from that side because, as you saw, the young men were sitting in front of a computer, and they were different, varying distance from the computer. But I hope you were able to get some of the content of their message, and you can appreciate what they're doing, what they've done, what they continue to do, in their musical journey. Look, talent comes out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We can talk about guys who have gone far. The Beckett previously, who did some fantastic work with songs like Teaser and so forth. We had James P that did really good work for St. Vincent and the Grenadines in representing us with his song Nuki. Kevin Little, of course, to my mind, the biggest name to come out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines with a truly global audience. We see soca artists like Problem Child, Skinny Fabulous, and so on also making waves. And Malam Rudette, who spent quite a number of years here and identifies as Vincentian, but also has Dominican and other roots. He too has quite a significant following globally, and we could now add to that group of performers and entertainers the Melisizwe Brothers. We want to wish them. We here at Uplift with Sion Marshall, and you part of the Uplift with Sion Marshall family who follow the program consistently. on behalf of all of us, I just want to wish them all the best going forward and hope that they continue to grow, to develop, and to reach the world with their music. All right? Until next Thursday evening, when we are back with you with another edition of this show, Up Late with Sion Marshall, on behalf of my producer, on behalf of our guests, the Melisizwe Brothers, Sion Marshall saying, thank you so much. Thank you for staying up late. Have a good night.